All right, what is up? The gang is back together again. Me and my English brothers. That's right. I said brothers. First up, we got Greg from the Rocks Life, a fellow Tottenham supporter. Charlie Bottrell is also a Tottenham supporter. This is just a match made in heaven or hell, depending on how you look at it. Right now, I think it's a lot more hell for us than it is heaven. Greg, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. We just need one more for a relay team. Spurs fans, English.
That's right. If you are a Spurs supporter and you're listening to this show, let us know. Maybe we can get. I mean, Charlie races 22 times a weekend. So what's one more for him? You know, it will be fine. He loves the relay. And then we got the fastest RMR athlete on the Jersey Shore. Michelle, what do we got coming up? Is it a 10 miler?
I got a 5-miler this weekend.
Five.
It's the
Oh, I'm sorry.
the big like Memorial Day kickoff in Spring Lake, which is I think it's ranked one of the top 100 races in the country. 10,000 people show up, so it's a big one.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Almost as dope as that setup you got going there. Is that a little sunroom,
Yes.
Michelle?
This is a sunroom. I am up at my mom's place today. There's a nice gravel trail close to her, and I wanted to get it in early because it's already 85 degrees.
Mama Navarro's got a sick setup.
Does.
Pretty dope setup. And then this guy's on. Oh, he came off mute just for this. Everybody's favorite redhead, the stats man himself. Hyrox hates to see this man coming when he's got facts and figures. Jack Bauer, how we doing?
It's a good thing that we didn't record earlier in the week because that's the reason I was on mute. I've had a little bit of a cold, so I don't know what's going on. Everyone got sick in my gym, and they clearly gave it to me. So hasn't been a good week sickness wise.
Not great. Not great. And let's just call it the elephant in the room. I am qualified for Worlds. Obviously, I have the purple Nike race kit. I'm representing the one, the only Charlie Bottrell. A lot of people have been telling me that we look alike, saying that we're twins, brothers. He didn't do it, but I orchestrated a jersey swap. So I don't even think he knows that I have this. So I cannot wait until Charlie, if you were on a bike right now listening to this on Zone 2, you're going to want to pop on YouTube. Got a little treat for you. So one day, maybe I'll be able to do a jersey swap with you. However, I've been to Worlds 3 times and twice I have not gotten my shirt. So shame on Hyrox. I don't have the shirt.
Matt, I think that's actually an error. Sounds like you've been to Worlds 4 times, weren't you? You just overseas?
I was just over in Sweden. I was scoping. I was checking out Stockholm to give everybody a little idea of what they
Share the
can
breakdown. Yeah.
Stockholm is sick. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. People are very friendly. It's Europe, so it's very easy to get around. The architecture was great. It was a little cold. It was like in the low 50s. I have no idea how to convert that to Celsius, but it was chilly. Everybody was wearing winter coats. My biggest gripe when I go to Europe is they just like don't do coffee well.
Mm.
And that's like the thing that like Greg's like smiling. Greg's like dumb American. It's always
That's good. This sounds hypocritical, to be honest with you. We went
don't
to when we went to Melbourne this year. It was like amazing coffee, and then we went to Phoenix straight after, and it was like, oh, the Americans don't
Let
do coffee
down.
anywhere near as well. Yeah,
Okay, I actually would. The problem is that like I don't know. There's a ton of great coffee places in Phoenix. Like Rich and I, when we were in Phoenix, I picked up Rich and we had to drive like 15 minutes to find a good coffee shop. So if you're just like looking for like coffee on the corner, yeah, it's not going to be great. But there's always good gems. Always good gems. I like the pour overs, you know, and like I feel like the Europeans just love their espresso. However, in the middle of the afternoon in Sweden, they do what's called fika, and fika is coffee and pastries, and their like preferred fika is basically this like cinnamon bun or like cinnamon roll, and oh my god, it's fantastic. I also had a traditional Swedish dinner. So my boss's family still lives in Sweden. So his cousin Bjorn came an hour from outside of Stockholm to take us to a traditional Swedish dinner. The waitress was very kind. They spoke in Swedish to each other the whole time. And they ordered up like this amazing meal for us. Every course like had a drink paired with it. I had in aquatif. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% certain. It was dill flavored, and it went with my toast skagen, which is basically chicken salad, except for instead of chicken, it was shrimp. It was delicious. I had traditional Swedish meatballs. It was fantastic.
Sounds good.
So, oh, it was amazing. I journaled about it and everything. That's how good it was.
So so sounds like people
So
have a lot to look forward to next month.
oh, yeah, Stockholm rocks. I am super sad that I will not be there. Maybe our CEO will pay for me to come over and cover
Mhm.
cover from a journalistic standpoint, or maybe Greg will get me on the broadcast. We'll see. We'll see. All right, we are gonna go through quickly. We had a couple of notable performances this weekend. Before everybody tunes out, do not worry. I'm not gonna go through all 5 races, but we did have some big ones over in Barcelona. The story of the weekend so far on the women's side is Saskia Millard going 57-24. Greg, you've spent a lot of time talking to Saskia and have covered her. What does this mean going into next season from your perspective?
Uh, I think she's amazing. I think it's a huge shame she's not going to be in the worlds this year. Really, from what she's doing, I think she's got to be like one to watch for the worlds next year. In reality, she's spent a very little time in the sport. She's come on in the stations a huge amount. Her running is unbelievable. So yeah, I think she's like one of the favourites for world champion next year in my mind.
Yeah. A pretty impressive performance all the way around. It's just a matter of time before uh she is threatening that podium on the women's side. And then we had Luke Greer going 54-43 also in that Barcelona race. And then over in how do you say this? Heerenveen? Is that right, Greg?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna go with it.
Run in the
Louis,
Netherlands.
yeah, Louis ran a 54:09. Shouts out to him. Second Arning also took the win. Back in the Barcelona race was when we had a crazy doubles time. My brother, Charlie Bottrell and Jake Dearden dropping a blistering 48:05. And before anybody says that this course was broken, busted, or otherwise, I will hear no slander towards my brethren. Roberto Viciedo Jimeno and Aitor were also in this race, and those teams ran 50-45 and 51-12 to give everybody a little bit of perspective. That is going to be a nasty team to watch next season as we go into the majors. And then over in Ottawa, we had Frederick Dubé and Cole Learn team up to run a 48-39, foreshadowing of things to come next year. And then the men's race was pretty spicy. Rich Ryan ran a 55-22 on Thursday night. And then last night, Frederick Dubé made a mad dash. Old man Rich was sweating the whole time. Fred went unbroken on wall balls but came up 1 second short, 55-23. That's a great race by Frederick Dubé. He's also gonna be a problem next year.
Good solo effort by Rich to get another continental record. We know that's a big thing for him.
A lot of people are saying it's a
Landmass.
landmass record. A lot of people are saying
Fastest
that.
ever in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, some people are saying that Rich is Mr. Canada himself. So some people, a lot of people, hard saying not knowing. All right. We got Greg here. That can only mean one thing. It is time for your final top 5 rankings before we go into the World Championships. Jack, will you do us the honors and show us last time's top 5 ranking before we get into this time's?
Before we do the wheel of names.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to just read it off? I'll just do that. It's gonna be quicker.
Yeah.
So last time for men, 5 Cole Learn, 4 Dylan Scott, 3 Hida Wiersma, 2 Tim Vinish, 1 Alexander Runchevich. And for the women, we had 5th. I didn't save that. I think it was Lucy Proctor, right? 4th Sinead Bent. Third, man, I overrode it. Sorry. I think it was
No, you're
Vivian.
fine. You said that. I think you sent the picture. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. I know that Joanna was number 1 and 2 was Lauren.
This is my fault. I should have been
Yeah, you put me on the
prepared.
spot, man. I
I
wasn't
know.
ready for it.
I know. It's my fault. Hold on. You sent it to us so that we would have it. Where is my group chat with the Rocks Life? This is bad. This is 100% my fault. I've got no one to blame but myself.
Good
Here we
audio.
go. Now Instagram doesn't want to load. Classic. I mean, this is a joke.
Well, this is why we should have done the wheel of
here we
names
go.
first, then
Here we
click
go.
on the
Here we
side,
go.
yeah.
Your top 5. We had Lucy Proctor, Sinead Bent, Vivian Tafuto, Lauren Weeks, and Joanna Wettrick. Jack already got the men. We are good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna wheel of names this. All right, can you guys see it?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. It's always Greg. Greg will share his list first. Bang! Charlie will share his name or his list second. Jack will go third. And then we will flip it. So Michelle will go fourth on the first time, and then she will go first for the second. But Michelle, since you are last, do you want to start men or women?
Let's start men.
All right. Just as a reminder for everybody, in case this is your first time tuning in, what we will do is each panelist will list their top 5 men, and then we will debate, and it is sure to be a rousing one. So, Greg, you want to kick us off? Do the honors?
Let me do the screen share just so that we can have it all in there.
Gosh, amateur hour here on my behalf.
This is the hardest I think it's been as well this season.
This is going to be tough.
5.
Especially because I think we realized after the fact that maybe we didn't get it completely right last time. So
we always get it right.
That's true. It's our show. So if it's right if we say it's right.
Always right.
So you want my top 5, yeah?
Yeah.
In 5th, I've got Hunter. 4th, Dylan Scott. 3rd, Hida Viersma. 2nd, Tim Venich. And 1st, Alexander Ronchevich.
Damn. This is tough. I still don't feel great about this. In the 5th spot, give me James Kelly. In the 4th spot, give me Hunter McIntyre. In the 3rd spot, give me Dylan Scott. In the 2nd spot, give me Tim Vinish. And in the 1st spot, give me Richard Alexander Ronkovich.
Like, what?
It's a joke about Rich Ryan, obviously.
Yeah, I have like 4 names listed and I'm deciding it right now. This is super, super tough. I think I'm actually going to have to go with Hunter for number 5. I'm including him this time. Number 4, Tim Vinish. Number 3, Hida Viersma. 2, Dylan Scott, and number 1, Alex.
Feel like mine has changed 6 times since we started. All right. I will do Hunter 5th, Hide 4th, Tim 3rd, Dylan 2nd, and Ronk 1st.
I think we're gonna need some side-by-side comparisons for this because
For sure.
this is gonna be tough. I'll just throw up random names. Alex is clearly on the list. Let's just do the ones towards the end. So I've got
I think I has to be if we were I think if we're being honest, it probably has to start with me defending the JK pick because
Sure.
I'm the only one that has him on the list.
I've got his numbers up here though, so that
Yeah.
maybe that helps.
For sure. So I'll just start by talking about this one. I put JK on this list knowing that everybody else was probably going to have the same top 5. And the reason why I did this is I might lose this argument and that's totally fine, but I think we didn't even talk about JK on the last top 5 episode. And I think Greg actually pointed it out after, like we didn't even mention JK. And I think that is probably a mistake. My argument for this would be like I think JK is being likely unfairly punished just because of the Melbourne race, which was, by all intents and purposes was not a good race. But if you go back, nobody look it up, except for it's gonna be tough because well, actually, Jack's got the stats, but he doesn't have them all the way back. If you go back to JK's last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, his last 10 elite races, that Melbourne race is his only race outside of the top 5. He has going back to Nice, these are his finishes in order. 3, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4, 4, 12, 2, 1. So I think when you look at body of work here, to not even include him in the conversation would be a mistake because he had one bad race, but look at everybody else on this list. Hunter's had a bad race. Was it Glasgow last spring? Dylan had a bad race in Phoenix, and everyone's got him in the top 3. He's as high as 2. Hide has raced well this year, but also has a bad race on his resume in the elite field, and Tim can be up and down. So I just think he is consistently inside of not you can't even say top 5. He's consistently top 4 at elite races, so he should be considered for the top 5.
I would agree with that. I was definitely on the fence, including him. The thing that swayed against that was his recent DNF in Hong Kong. I know it's a local race, but he was getting beaten by local competition at that point, and to me, that made a little bit of a difference. He was definitely the best racer in the APAC race. We saw a couple surprises, but he did his thing on the final 2 zones and just pulled away by like a minute. And then obviously unbroken wall ball second in Phoenix. So he definitely deserved to be in the competition. But like I said, without that DNF, I probably would have put him 5th.
And I think for me, versus like having Hunter 5th or JK 5th, I think it's more so like seeing someone more frequently. Like we've seen JK race a little bit more, which makes me just think that Hunter is stronger when he goes into the elite races. But again, it's kind of hard to compare when you don't see someone race as frequently. So I think that's what's swaying my decision to put Hunter versus JK, just because we've seen JK a little bit more, and there have been a few that were a little bit outside of just like top 5.
It's a sign as well of just like how strong this men's field is. Like whittling this down to 5, where there are probably more than 5 guys that could realistically win the world championships, is like it's a sign of just how strong it is. But you're right, like JK has done amazingly in most of his majors and the world champs. He still finished 4th, which was like underperformance for him as well in Chicago. But it's just like, well, who are you leaving out? And like Matt has left out Hida, who essentially broke the world record in London recently, finished 3rd in Hamburg. So it's like does Hidda deserve to be dropped for JK? It's just super hardcore, I think.
Of course, but I knew that was going to create controversy. Gotta get the
And
clicks, baby.
and we're also we're leaving off guys like Sean Noble, who's finished fourth, and fifth in his
Cole
past
Learn.
4
Cole
big
Learn, who
races.
we had in here
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Seb, who
Seb.
was on world record pace until wall balls, and he got sixth in Phoenix. So it's not like he's had a bad run recently in big races. So it's so deep.
Man, that ice cream truck.
That's
Dang,
what that
dude.
was? Amazing.
100%. 100% that's what that was. At 9:30 in the morning?
Right early.
Crazy. Oh,
American
early.
breakfast.
Here's my thing. American breakfast. I just don't know. I think where I've landed on this is I'm not going to put somebody on the top 5. This is something I'm doing now going forward. I'm not going to put somebody in the top 5 rankings if they haven't won a major. Because to Greg's point, and by major, I mean like a major, not a regional, but they've won a major or they won a world title. And to Greg's point, I think this field is so deep. It does go like there are a lot of people that are right there on the edge. And I feel like we probably have, do we all agree there's 5 or 6 guys that could win a world title?
For sure.
I mean, looking
So
at
then
this
if that's,
list, yeah.
yeah, so if that's the case, you have to have won one of the big ones. If you haven't won one of the big ones, I'm not sure that I can make an argument for you to be on the list. And I do agree, like that doesn't sound like my argument persuaded anybody. I do agree that Hit A should probably be in there. But I just think that you look at the body of work. JK in some respects is kind of like the new Ronkovich prior to whenever he took over as being the top from Hunter, but he was consistent. He was always there in the top, top three, top 4 at every single race. And it feels like, again, if you remove that Melbourne blip, I don't even think this is a discussion. And nobody's punishing Dylan for finishing 12th at Phoenix.
You know what? I think I'd be okay with putting James instead of Hunter.
Oh, there's that spice.
I know that yes, Hunter beat him in Melbourne, but the two biggest races since then, Phoenix, James second place in a race where Alex set the world record, and then he wins APAC, and Hunter's just been going to local races or doing doubles. I could be swayed.
Fair point.
Yeah, I could be swayed. I must admit, I wrote down 7 names,
Yeah.
and JK actually wasn't one of them. I actually had Sean and Sebastian as my other 2, but I think you've made a good argument for JK.
Let's do it. I'm down.
But hold on. Now, so we got to make a count. Someone's got to make a counter argument for Hunter.
I mean, he beat him head to head in Melbourne the last time they went in a matchup.
Yeah, because the argument for Hunter would be he's Hunter, so he's the greatest to ever do it. And although he has not won an elite race in a pretty long time at this point, he only has the one blip of Glasgow 2025. Outside of that, these are his elite races: 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 1, 5, 9, 2, 2.
Yeah, but if this was like college football or any other power rankings and you haven't faced anybody good for half a year, like he was in Phoenix, he could have faced people, but he decided to, do doubles, elite, go for the world record and skip the regular major. But then showing up on that later day, like Dylan did, but Dylan raced the individual elite 50. Like to me, that's dodging the competition right there. And you just don't want to let people know where you're at until world championships. So right now, I would punish Hunter accordingly.
When he does show up to elite races, though, he's gotten second the past 2 times, right? World champs and the Melbourne major. So that's why he's in my list, because when he does show up to the elite races, he delivers.
He also has, I mean, for what it's worth, that 53-59 is the second fastest men's pro time ever. And that's
Hey,
the distinction there is the rest there are times faster than that, but they are in elite races. This was just in a local race, and the only time faster than him is the Dylan Scott New York City race where Dylan came out and basically said the sleds were kind of I mean, that was the weekend when people were pushing sleds, and we were watching the sleds just continue to, like, move.
well, Dylan
Yeah.
went faster in Phoenix also on that 53:37.
I hate it when Hyrox doesn't update their stats.
Yeah. It's like
Damn
you and
it.
me.
I'm literally looking at the Hyrox page. It's
Got
not
it all in
updated.
front of you right here.
Cool. Sweet.
But no,
It
I
we
Third
need more
fastest
than
time.
top 5, clearly. Like, it's just
no, but no one's gonna finish tied for 5th at Worlds. And
yeah.
this isn't necessarily like how Worlds will go. It's, in my opinion, what have you done lately? Where do you currently stand? And if he didn't have the name recognition and he only had those results, I feel like Hunter would not be on this list. It's reputation that's keeping him around at this point after not really racing head to head against people for the past 6 months.
Hmm. Are we gonna keep Hunter McIntyre off the top 5 2 lists in a row?
I've been swayed to put James in because look at those last 2 results. So that I think that makes it 2-2. So Michelle, Greg, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been swayed. In my head, I was just questioning JK versus Sean Noble, but I think with those last 2 results, I think JK edges it against Sean as well.
JK's in.
All right.
Bang. Look at me.
Never happens, Matt. Winning an argument this online, this is monumental. Yeah.
JK is in. All right.
Should I just throw Alex in one just to get that over with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like that's a
All right.
given.
And now I'll just put I guess Tim in order to
Sorry,
drop
Tim or
down.
it's Tim, Dylan.
Tim Hitty and Dylan. Okay, so now we'll just focus on the middle 3 guys right here.
Hide is as high as 3, as low as not listed. So we'll call him 5. Um Damn. Dylan is 2-0 versus Hide.
How hold on, Matt. You have Hunter at 4.
Right, but he's dropping off the list.
I know, but I just realized that was a strange argument for you to make to keep James on, and now we're booting Hunter. So
Well, I told you
anyway,
I put JK. I would have put Hunter 5 if I had Hide in. But
gotcha.
I did it for the purposes of debate.
Okay. But I do think James is the right pick at this moment.
Okay, so I guess there's not really a consensus here because Greg and I both have Tim as second. You both have Dylan as second. And it seems like for the most part, Hide is really 3 because that's where I would have had him. But the thing that I can't get over is look at Dylan's head to head against everybody.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that includes
I
James on the list also.
Yeah, and that includes that clunker in Phoenix. All right, I made the argument for JK. Greg, why don't you make the argument for Tim in second?
My argument for Tim in second, I mean, I think there's probably still a little bit of World Championship memory in there for me, if I'm honest, which is maybe going back a little bit far. But his performance in London as well, which would have been a world record aside from the penalties, and I know penalties are a factor in the race, but you know, with those 30 seconds, he'd have won fairly comfortably in a very, very impressive time. Warsaw didn't go how you might have expected. I think he was battling a bit of a back injury at the time, so I don't think it showed what he's fully capable of. So I think for me it was like the memory of that London race and still getting fourth in that Warsaw race in a good time despite a back injury that I've gone for him in second really. I think with Dylan, like obviously there's some great performances in there. I think it's like the inconsistency that puts some doubt in my mind. So it's like the 12th in Phoenix, even though 2 days later he ran one of the fastest times ever. I think there's that little bit of inconsistency, whereas I don't think you'd ever get Tim coming 12th in a race, for example.
I feel like inconsistency is that reputation isn't really accurate. Like Las Vegas last year, first, third at Worlds, second at Hamburg, second at DC, second at Warsaw, and he had that one bad race in Phoenix, and it was the same exact place that JK did, and we were just raving about how consistent he was, and he had a bunch of fours on his resume.
I feel like for Dylan too, like I have him second, I believe. Yeah. Um, I'm leaning more towards the most recent major in Warsaw where he got second. And again, like if we're looking, as we get closer and closer to world championships, this last major definitely put, you know, I feel like him above just being so much closer. And I agree. Like, yes, I think everyone.
Do we lose her? Or just me?
Oh, I thought it was just me.
No, she's gone. We'll see if she
We were
comes back.
raving about her new setup at her mom's house.
Oh, no.
Is it okay now?
Oh, you're back.
Yeah,
It went out a little bit.
yeah,
No, you're good.
good.
Okay,
We missed like the final 15 seconds of your argument. If
that's
you're
all right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think that the argument for Dylan's inconsistency would be if you go back the last 3 years, he's got a 14, a 10, a 15, and a 12.
He's not the same athlete though.
We thought that, but then he dropped a 12 in Phoenix.
And
And then
James
sure,
Shirley dropped to 12 in Melbourne in his home country.
yeah, 100 yeah, but again, did you listen to anything I just said? Dylan's got Dylan's got a 14, a 10, a 15, and a 12.
Yeah, but we're
JK's
not doing
finished.
last year's power rankings. Like, he's not
No, no, no,
not the same athlete.
I'm not talking about you're saying the inconsistency thing I think is unfairly applied, and I'm saying that I don't think it's unfairly applied because this has been a pattern going back multiple years now. Whereas other athletes have it seemingly raised their floor.
Yeah, I agree historically, but since February 2025 with those results that I listed, that's like a year and a few months. That's change at this point to the trend line.
Mm.
I don't think anyone wants to budge.
Hmm.
No, this is really hard because like I also look at the head to head and like Dylan has Dylan's 2-0 against Hide. So I don't know how we could put Hide above him, and he's also 2-1 against Tim. So I think you've got me persuaded personally.
Yeah, I was going to say honestly, I would budge. I think maybe you're right. Maybe I was unfair with that inconsistency. I think in my head as well, Washington, because it wasn't his best possible race, I was thinking, oh, it was a bit inconsistent, but he still finished second
Mhm.
in 54 something. So I think maybe it was unfair.
And Cole was a monster that day. Like nothing
Yeah,
against Dylan. Like it's still second place. Cole was on a different level. Dylan should have been the favorite realistically, but second is still a pretty good performance. So are we moving Dylan into two?
Yep.
All right. Now we've got the Timbers Hit battle.
This one I would still put Tim above Hide. I just think like I know that Hide is one he's 1-2 against them, but to Greg's point, those 30 seconds of penalties were the difference. I think I know that I'm gonna get skewered for this online because penalties matter. I thought that I thought those penalties were a little ticky-tacky. Personally, I didn't think that it was I don't know, I didn't like it when it happened, I still don't like it, and I thought he was the best racer on the day. This very easily could be 2-1 Tim.
I wish Hide was in the Warsaw Major because that would have swayed my decision much more easily based off of who won that. But that's the challenge when we have all of these elite races and not everyone shows up. It makes it much more challenging to decide based off of head to head. But yeah, I just think that Tim he's raced, I guess, in my mind so much more, and I've seen his like top that much more. I just feel like he's kind of still above. But maybe we need to see more head to head against the two of them.
Yeah, there definitely is an asterisk with that 2-1. As you mentioned, take the penalties. Suddenly, Tim has the better head-to-head record. It, Tim just didn't look like his normal self in Warsaw, and just kind of looked like he was trending slightly backwards. And that's the only reason why I dropped him, despite the last time that the two of them matched up. Obviously, he'd have got the better of him time wise, but if it wasn't for Tim sort of trending in the wrong direction, not that fourth place is bad at a major, that's kind of the only thing that affected that. But I'd be fine putting Tim 3 and hit it 4. So what are we
That's
going?
my vote. I mean, that's
Matt,
my
you
vote because that's
yeah. I was
that's
like, you didn't
that's
even have hit it on your list to
I don't
begin
have
with.
him
So I
listed,
guess
and
yeah.
but I would have put him at I would have gone, uh he would have been in the 4th spot for me. So I think this is right.
Yeah.
So we like how this stands?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
ish.
So our top 5 men, Alexander Ronkovich setting the world on fire. Dylan Scott second, Tim Vinish third, Hidde Wiersma fourth, new entrant back into the top 5, James Kelly. Ronk is just on a run of dominance right now for the top spot. All right, go to the women. We will reverse the order this time. We will go Michelle, Jack, Charlie, and then Greg.
Okay. I'll let Jack type in the names.
It
Okay.
didn't buy you that much time.
Yeah, I was like, I could peck with my fingers if I needed to
She was like, "All
stall.
right, how
Yeah,
much time can
I
we
know
stall
that
Yeah.
for?"
method. I've used that
Uh,
before.
All right. 5th spot, I have Vivian. 4th spot, Sinead. 3rd spot, Alyssa McElhaney. 2nd spot, Lauren Weeks. Number 1, Joanna Wettrick.
Okay. I mean, it's gonna be no surprise with our number 1, number 2, and number 3, I imagine. But I'm actually gonna go in 5, Sinead Bent, 4, Lena Putters, and then 1, 2, 3 in the same exact spot with Alyssa, Lauren, and Joanna.
Deep in thought over there, Matt.
Give me Vivian. I don't feel good about this. Sinead, Alyssa, Lauren, Joanna.
I am the same as Matt and Michelle.
All right.
Oh. I guess I'm the idiot for putting Lena, who beat one of these people on my list last race.
She was also on my list.
The only reason why I didn't have uh Lena higher was just because of the same argument that we've have been making on the men's side, which is she had a great race in Warsaw and that counts for something. But she's also got a sixth. She was also ninth in London. Um, so this is her best race by far, and I would just need to see her back that up.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. It's like she had a great race in Warsaw, and she definitely has the capacity to do it again. But it would just be, I think, more of a confirmation to see it multiple times. But yeah, it's more of a gut feeling at this point. All of these women are definitely just like steep competition at this point.
Yeah, exactly the same for me. I had 8 names written down. I think Lena was probably my 8th. I actually thought we'd be arguing over whether Saskia or Annie Wilson should have been included here. Um, but yeah, Lena's 4th in Warsaw obviously counts for something, but I think it's the inconsistency that kept me out for her.
Yeah, those other two
I
you
thought about
mentioned, Craig,
Go ahead, Jack.
were definitely in contention, but I was like, they haven't run a major yet in the solo division, so that kind of affected things.
Yeah, it's the same for me.
Do
Yeah,
do I think
do it in
they're
a
top
major.
5
Yeah.
talent ability? Of course, but
Absolutely.
they're not. They haven't done or had the head to head. It's like, how can you reward someone who ran a local race in Barcelona over someone who got 4th place at a major? You
Yeah.
just don't have that body of work yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason why I didn't have Saskia on there. Although I thought about doing it.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Just
where
let
I
the
had the
record stand. I had her last time, so I was early on the train.
I think the difficult thing for me was Vivian versus Sinead.
Mhm.
Vivian has the larger body of work. Um, and I know Vivian had some races where she was battling injuries and things like didn't go her way. She's almost always a staple in the top 5. But Sinead got the better of her, and Sinead has never finished outside the top 5 in an elite race. And she's 2-0. So that's ultimately why I went the way that I did. But I don't know that I feel great about that because every time we think that someone has passed Vivian, I mean, you go back to that Hamburg race, she beat Lauren
Yep.
to finish second behind Joanna. And I'm sure she's going to show up in her, best possible shape for Worlds, and she could get onto the podium. So I don't know but that's where I had the biggest issue of placing people.
I think for me as well, it was what Sinead did in London, and I know Vivian obviously wasn't in that, and it was a regional, but like that was a really really strong lineup, and Sinead looked comfortable throughout it. You know, she beat C. Cranin, Emily Dowman, Denelle Lowe, Ellie Stenfors. Like she won that fairly comfortably that race. So I think that performance for me, and then also beating Vivian in Warsaw, is why I've gone for Sinead ahead of Vivian.
Yeah, just in that Warsaw race, I remember, I think it was Sinead and Lena going back and forth. They had their own like competition going on within that race, just behind the top pack. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily an off day for Vivian, but I just I think Sinead is trending up, and I'm not sure if we've seen like the top from her yet. So I just wonder if she has like another gear left for world champs that we just kind of haven't seen yet. But Vivian has been so strong and so consistent. It's hard to choose, honestly.
Yeah, Jack, I mean, you've got Lena over Vivian. You wanna talk us through that?
I mean, people are going to be like, "Oh, recency bias," but I'm like, last time that we saw her on the course, we saw Lena run a 56:30 on, yes, a fast course in Warsaw, but she beat her by like a minute. That's not like, "Oh, I beat you by one wall ball," like we saw that cluster with Seb and Tim and Sean Noble. It's like that's a pretty definitive victory there.
You know what the interesting thing is though is that, like, to do it once is awesome, yes, but to be as consistent as Vivian has been, I think it's kind of reigning in my mind a little bit higher than that. So in terms of a consistency standpoint, I feel like Vivian still has that, and I feel like she does have that ceiling as well, the capabilities of what, like, Lena and Sinead had put out in that Warsaw race.
Is Vivian's doubles racing impacting anyone's decision?
I mean, we know she can keep up with the GOAT, right? So it's.
I
No,
think
I
it
think I
impacted
fully
my
decouple. Go ahead, Greg.
well, I think it impacted mine a little bit. I was like wondering whether to include Vivian in fifth or whether it should be like Saskia, for example. And like we've touched on, Vivian's done it in a major, whereas Saskia hasn't. But I think part of it was like Vivian like breaks the world record in the doubles pretty much every time they race, and I think that counted a little something for me too as well.
Let me just get Saskia's stats up here. I know you're gonna go with Vivian, but
That's
I mean,
crazy, by the way. It's actually
I
insane.
didn't end up updating for this weekend because it happened like less than or under 12 hours ago. But she has a 57:30 in Barcelona again.
That's 57-22, I think.
22, yeah. So
It's
she will
22 or
be in this
24.
list at some point.
Yeah, we got to see her in the elite
Yeah,
races
this just
against
isn't
the
enough at
competition.
the moment. Yeah,
Honestly, I feel like I could have made a better I could have used doubles to make an argument for Saskia to be in if it wasn't for the penalty controversies. Like, had her and Holly Archer ran multiple clean races, right? And, we could say, like, well, she just didn't have enough time, but, like, she's clearly one of the best right now, even if she's not gonna race at Worlds. But that's the thing I'm actually probably using that against Saskia, as opposed to, yeah, I know you're making the argument of, like, should we use Vivian's doubles performances in her favor? That would be the thing keeping Saskia out for me. So we have seen her race elite doubles, and it's obviously not gone well.
well, I think based on the numbers, Vivian's gonna get that fifth spot overall. Would you agree?
Yeah, she's also 2-1 against Lena. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely like I said, what have you done lately? And Lena did have a worse regional performance despite beating Vivian in the most recent major. It kind of stinks that she had that issue in Hamburg. She could have had a podium to add to her argument here at a major, which yes, it's a little outdated, but that could have made a little stronger argument. But Vivian's always in that top 3 to 5 contention. So I'm fine with putting her
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Okay. So Vivian, Sinead, Alyssa, Lauren, and Joanna.
Look at Joanna's table right here. Like 5-0 head to head against Lauren in the past year. That's
Wow.
crazy.
I don't know that anybody. That's got to be the only that. Yeah, I mean that's got to be the only person that's ever won that many races against Lauren.
That's pure dominance for the season. Wow.
It's a trend line going all the way back to Chicago last year.
You know
And
what's interesting? I'm just curious everyone's thoughts on this. I mean, obviously we all agreed Alyssa is third on our lists, but she's only raced one Elite 15 major, and she's already made like such an impression on us. I feel like for anyone else that may have gotten a podium spot like that, I don't know if they would necessarily have been third on this list. So I don't know if anyone has any like thoughts on that, but I feel like for me, Alyssa just made such a striking entrance that I feel like she was worthy of the third spot on the list right now.
I mean,
I'd
for me, it was the
100%
way
put
that.
her there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was the way she did it. Like
Yeah.
she did it comfortably. She won by almost 40 seconds. She honestly like wasn't really even being like pushed that hard. Um, she was smiling the whole time. On last week's episode of Race Brain, she talked about how like she just started doing stations within the last 6 months. So like she's not running anywhere close to her threshold. That was the thing that blew my mind was like she's not running all that close to her threshold capacity because the stations are still doing enough damage that it's like she's recovering on the runs. And if she's recovering on the runs and she's running that fast, like that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like I I don't know that she's gonna do enough to overcome Lauren or Joanna by June. But by next June, if you told me that Lauren or that Alyssa was competing for not just a podium spot, but the title, I wouldn't be surprised personally.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
her running is that good.
I think like if she plays a bolder strategy to the race, we might see, her get into second or first, but it also could go the opposite direction, right? We haven't really seen her take a risk yet because we've only seen her once, and like you said, like it was a comfortable, like safer race. So it'll be interesting to see like a much bolder strategy and where that takes her.
I mean, she said on last week's episode that she felt like there was over a minute to be gained on the runs just because that's how much she was having to hold herself back because of the stations.
Mm.
So she's gonna have to get better at the stations. If she could just get better at absorbing the stations and then run closer to threshold, that's pretty frightening.
Hmm.
Greg, it looked like you were gonna say something.
No, nothing really that you haven't already said. Like her inclusion here after just one major, I think we'll probably see this similar with Saskia, who we've talked about a little bit. Like we're almost all waiting to put her in, but she's got to do it at the top level. When she does, I'm sure she'll be included almost immediately. Like I think we knew she was capable of that in Warsaw. It wasn't a huge surprise for her to get third based on what she'd already done and seeing her run times. So yeah, I think it could be a similar story with Saskia.
I think this is going to be the last easy top 5 rankings for the women where we just know 1, 2, 3 right ahead. All of us agree. You've got Saskia, you've got Annie coming in. Linda surely will make a comeback. Sinead's always on the rise. Vivian's always there. Meg, when she gets healthy, like it seems easy today, and we agree with each other for the most part. But next year is going to be ridiculous, in my opinion, with the level of talent that's coming into this sport.
What's really interesting to me is that the women's side is dominated by the runners. And we haven't quite seen that on the men's side. The men's side is, uh, the best runners in the field aren't actually necessarily represented in the top 5. If you look on the women's side, like Joanna is Lauren's the best runner in the field. Alyssa might be the best runner in the field when she is able to run close to threshold. Sinead has a high level running background. Joanna is a strong runner, and Vivian is a swimmer, but she's one of the best runners in the field too. But if you go to the men's side, you look at some of the best runners in the field that aren't included on that list. Luke has not broken in yet. Rich is not on the list. We could go on. Like it's interesting to me that like the women's archetype are the better runners. And to your point, like talking about people that are going to probably maybe break in next year, Saskia, runner. Meg, although she's very powerful on the stations, was up there as being considered one of the best runners with Lauren when healthy. So running's taking over, baby.
Hmm.
I think that might be more road or track running ability, because when you look at the results for the men's race, throw out Luke Greer, oftentimes it's Tim or Alex or Hunter having like the best run split overall in the race. And there's
But
just
I'm just saying being known as a runner.
yeah, but I also think that you have so many men finishing within 20 to 30 seconds of their total 8.7K run split that there's not much differentiation because they're so good as runners. So the stations matter more. Here you have Olympic trials level or athletes, as runners coming in, and there just aren't enough of them on the women's field so that you do have that separation by them.
We'll see. I think Luke Greer's got to break in next year.
For sure.
Nasty. All right. Any final thoughts?
Give us the recap.
All right. Joanna Wettrick, your top woman sweeping the rankings all season long. Lauren Weeks, second. Alyssa McElhaney, third. Sinead Bent, fourth. Vivian Tafuto, fifth. This is the shortest top 5 episode ever because we had pretty large agreement, which can only mean one thing. This is not how it's going to go at Worlds. If there is one thing I am sure of, this is definitely not how it's going to go at Worlds for the men or the women. Greg, what do we got this week on the Rocks Life?
Coming up, next week's episode will be your man, Sean Noble, actually.
All right.
We had a good chat.
My guy.
Yeah. That was really good, actually. And the most recent episode is with Thierry Willigenberg. Good chat with him about his training and what he's doing with his muscle oxygen sensors and things like that. So yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome. Michelle's got a 5 miler. Jack, you got any races coming up?
We've got a long run in about 30 minutes after this, so it's gonna be fun.
Nice. There we go.
Yep.
There we go. All
I,
right,
I
we
do have
did it.
I do have a race in a couple weeks, but it's not High Rocks. So
Is it a goofy race?
I'm doing DecaFit Denver just because it's pretty close to home, and then Spartan Race Colorado Springs right up the
Honestly,
next day.
I got a bone to pick. Not with you. Um, I think I might do a Deca because I can't get in to a High Rocks race.
Mm.
It has we've officially reached the level of absurdity over here in the States that Greg is probably like, "We've been dealing with this for years." You can't even get a ticket in the freaking presale.
I know.
I've got the presale code. I'm loaded up. I'm waiting an hour beforehand. I tried to get a pro ticket for DC, didn't get one. Tried to get a pro ticket for Salt Lake, didn't get one. Tried to get a pro ticket for Boston, didn't get one. I also tried to get in the presale on Tampa, didn't get one. I loaded up 2 computers and a cell phone for the Tampa public race, and I think I got one of the last possible tickets. And it's like, I love that, like, High Rocks is exploding for sure, but, like, it took me, what is that, 8 tries to get a pro ticket? Like, it's getting out of hand. And, like, I can't sustain this level of training to race
You have to find a race,
once.
basically. Yeah.
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 Ask your brother Charlie Bottrell somehow managed to just get 20 in a weekend, so you should ask him how he does it.
Yeah. Get some advice.
Honestly, I should. That's a good
I
point. I don't know
I
how
wanna
you
see
fellas.
Charlie try to let's see Charlie try to sign up for, like, Denver or something this spring in the U or
Well,
this fall
no,
in the US. Yeah.
The UK has had this problem for a couple years now, right, Greg?
Yeah.
It's
That's why
but
they're up to
you all
massive
do it
amounts.
differently, right? You do a lottery system,
Uh,
don't you?
yeah, I must admit, I've not had to go through normal routes in most recent times.
Oh, being a commentator has its perks.
What's
Uh,
the right solution to this though? Where you have athletes who have run plenty of races, like it for a business, the more people that you can get to sign up, the better. But I feel like there's gonna be some negative kickback at some point where people are like, I just can't do it anymore. I'm done with this sport. And then you lose some customers. It's obviously extremely popular right now, but you need to appease both people. Is it simply just adding more days, or what's the right solution?
Well, I wonder if every single thing is getting sold out or if it's just the pro. Like, if we need more pro tickets, then it's like maybe have more, you know, hourly send offs of pro instead of all of the relays or the standard weight. I don't know if that's the case, but just thinking in that terms, like if the pro tickets are the ones that are selling out quickly, then maybe there needs to be more times for pro. They have been adding more days, doing like what, Thursdays to Sunday, and that's helped a little bit. So that's also a solution, just having more days. But it's
Yeah.
challenging, of course, for people who work during the week.
I do have a
Well, and
question specifically for Michelle though on that topic. So as a woman, there's usually 2.5 times as many men. Are you finding it difficult to get a solo pro ticket?
So I did actually just get a DC Pro ticket. I checked like this past week, and there were still some available. And that
Okay.
it's been like a week or two, I think, since the tickets
And this would
went
never
off.
happen in the guys race.
So it is, yeah. I think it is a little bit more challenging for men, but the women's do sell out for sure. Like I think Tampa Pro was sold out for women.
Well, I think part of the issue is, especially at least in the US, is historically we've had 6 hours worth of men's open waves, but we have like an hour or 40 minutes worth of pro waves. But now I think like, most people, or at least that take it seriously, they want to at least have a shot to go to worlds, right? And you can't do that in the open. So why would you race open? Right? There's really no reason to. Um and all I know, I think my suggestion would be we all have to log into our High Rocks account in order to buy a ticket. You can't buy a ticket without a High Rocks account. The thing that really it doesn't bother me so much that it sells out. Like that's great for them. But what bothers me is there are people who I see that race every single race. And why is it that there are athletes that are able to get tickets? And I know it's random, but there are athletes that are able to get tickets for every single fall race. And I'm doing everything I can and can only get one. So I feel like there should be like there's got to be a way. I'm not an engineer, but there's got to be a way to prioritize accounts that have yet to race. Right?
I
Like
mean,
there's
do you prioritize? You're saying like the brand new 0 races, I'm making my debut, prioritize them, so then the people in the active,
no,
like
I'm just saying like if you've got I'm just gonna use Dustin Needham as an example. Dustin, you know I love you. I just do all the races. That's why I'm using Dustin. So this is I'm not attacking Dustin. I'm just using him. If Dustin is able to sign up for DC, and I don't know that he did, but if Dustin's able to sign up for DC and Tampa, right, and Boston, then if me and Dustin are in the queue for Salt Lake, right, then the priority should go to the person who's not signed up for one of those races. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, why do we have some people that are in every race and then we've got other people that can't get in at all?
Gotta change your luck, Matt.
he's got that Charlie shirt though. Maybe you're able to get into every race from
Yeah,
now
wear
on.
that shirt next time you
Get
try to sign up.
me in.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I know people that are paying for the pro card now, not because not because like they have a shot at getting the Elite 15, but like it's a guaranteed entry into 2 races.
It's expensive next year, but I guess you're gonna pay it anyway just to even
They're
get
gonna
into
pay it
the series.
anyway.
But yeah, I don't know.
So
The
I don't
challenging
know.
so
I mean, it's a good problem to have. Um, also, I'm just gonna go on record and say this. The Deca Instagram post making fun of Hyrox for not being able to get a race was pretty funny. But Deca, you should pay your people before you go and throw shots at other brands. That's all I'm saying. It was funny. You can pat yourself on the back, but maybe make sure your checkbook can cash those checks before you go throwing stones at Hyrox, which is very popular. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I know it's a good problem to have. But I would like to see something change. I just want to race. I want to race. I want to blow up on the wall balls. I want to feel that lactic acid. So, all right. Any final thoughts?
Excited for Stockholm.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Coming close.
I've got a feeling like our top 10 all time list are gonna change pretty significantly this summer. If I had to guess. All right.
I may be doing some work already on a spreadsheet for some blind comparisons. So
Can't wait. Can't wait. Listen to the Rocks Life. Like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments. We've been having fun. Been a little quiet lately. Come at us. We want to engage. All right. Everybody have a great week. We're out.